Thanks for tuning in to Lola.com's intern podcast, Internal Affairs. Before we get started, we'd love to invite you to the Lola.com Agile Operations Summit on November 6th in Boston, Massachusetts. Have you ever wondered why there isn't an event that's built for and celebrates the finance and ops people on your team? Well, now there is. With inspiring and educational speakers such as Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, thought-provoking discussion, lots of good food, and tons of fun, this event is a surefire home run.
And for all of our listeners out there, we'd love to give you $100 off. Simply use the code FINANCEHAPPY to get $100 off. At a finance and ops conference, it's only apt that we try to help you save some money. And because Lola loves its student interns so much, just like us too, we want you to come for free. Use the code FREELUNCH because hey, you will get some free lunch out of it. Go to lola.com/AOS to buy your tickets today.
All right, good morning and welcome from the Lola.com studios in Boston, Massachusetts. This is Internal Affairs, episode 2. How are we doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited. We made one episode. The cameras didn't explode from the awesome content. Good. Yeah, so we're here.
We're still standing.
Yeah.
Didn't set the office on fire.
Nope.
I'm here with my co-host, Ramsel Gonzalez.
Hi.
Welcome as always.
Thank you.
And
How are you doing?
Sorry?
I said, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a little tired. I could use a coffee.
Well, you can get the world's best boss mug.
I know.
There.
I know.
Young Volp's on it.
Yeah, that picture's sharp. Probably shouldn't be shown on the podcast.
No, not at all.
Our guest today is Zoe Weiss of the engineering team. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So how'd you pick Lola? How'd you find Lola? How'd you get interested in the startup scene, the tech scene?
Yeah, so I knew for the summer that I wanted to do an internship in Boston, and I was looking specifically for startups. So it was kind of funny how I ended up finding Lola because one of my friends had found this website that connects college students with startups in in Boston area and in New York. So she told me about that, and I was clicking around on it and looking at some of the different websites for the companies, and I saw Lola, and I was like, oh, it's like travel, and it's in Boston, so why not?
It's perfect.
So I went for it, and then a little while later, I got an email reaching out to me to come in to interview, and as soon as I got here and I started meeting the people and seeing the space, I was like, oh, this is a cool spot. This is where I want to be for the summer. And so I was lucky enough that they offered me a position, and now I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. And what's funny about us, for listeners who don't know this, is we're actually the first intern class at Lola.com.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think they might have had 1, maybe 2 interns before last year.
Well, like the 9 or 10 of us, I don't even know how many.
It just pales in comparison.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're a group. So what about the travel part of the internship, or like Lola like kind of pulled you in? Are you like a travel person?
Honestly, I've never been a huge traveler person. My family has always gone on like fun trips here and there, but I've always loved like seeing like hotels in different places, looking for restaurants. I used to work at a travel company, so I would always look at the pictures to see like what places, if I go to this country, like where could I go once I'm already there.
What was the company you worked at?
I worked at TripAdvisor when I was a high school student.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of work with their pictures, so I just got to like pick out the places that I would go for my imaginary trips. So I think it's really cool that we get to help people with business travel and to make that easier for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm like a travel enthusiast, I'd say myself.
You were on a trip recently, right?
Where was I? I was in...
You were stuck in the airport. And
yeah.
I was stuck in Florida. Yeah, this is actually a good story. So I actually got to use our Lola.com platform. I'm just going to keep giving shameless plugs. I can't really avoid it.
It's not shameless if it's
it's
actually good content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was stuck in Florida on the way back from a trip. My flight got delayed, then canceled twice.
The classic.
Missed
Rude.
my connection.
Unacceptable.
Had to stay in Atlanta, but got there at like 2 a.m.
I've heard horror stories about Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Atlanta airport is
stuck like...
Oh my gosh, it is terrible. My sister lives in
Yeah.
Atlanta, and so there was one time we were coming back to Boston together, and we're like, you know what, we're just gonna walk to our gate because like why not? And like 45 minutes later, we were like
Covered
panting, like huffing and
on
puffing,
feet,
like
everything,
finally
yeah.
reaching our gate, and I was like, this is never ever happening.
No,
again.
I know.
It's
Well,
huge.
thankfully I got there, but I wouldn't have gotten out of Florida without the Wombat team here at
Right.
Lola. They rebooked me and helped me out, and yeah, so that was not a great travel experience, but most of my other ones.
The
But thanks
Wombats.
to Lola, yeah.
You made it
The
all
wombats are
safely.
great. They're so fun to
Yeah,
hang out
very
with.
great.
I am happy they moved downstairs.
Me
They're
too.
they're super cool.
They're good energy.
Oh yeah, for
Sorry
sure.
that you
Are they
guys
not
lost.
too loud though?
No.
That's what I was wondering.
No,
No, they're
great.
fun. They like bring good.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
They bring the music out, which I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
happy. They have like just
Yeah,
playing
no,
jams.
that's fun actually.
They have
The music
good
is going
music.
down on floor one.
They were playing Hall & Oates, like I think like the first week they
They
came
have
down.
good taste.
Yes.
They were doing really good.
I'll sing along to myself. I'm like the only guy singing along to like the songs in the office, but that's
Well,
another
for
story.
listeners, so our office is 2 floors.
Yeah.
So F1, the top floor, is like marketing, direct sales, stuff like that. F0 is
The dungeon.
Where the
engineering,
parties
the
are.
dungeon. And
So
we used to have the
engineering.
Wombat team up with us, and it
Yeah.
was really exciting and fun and very noisy between a call going on here
like
and then
from-
5 feet to the left and then 5 more feet to the
Right.
left. But now you guys have the pleasure of listening to that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Right.
Our
I'm sure
lives are made a
sales
bit
and marketing
easier.
bring the heat on their own in their own way.
I mean, Jay does. Jay always brings the heat.
Jay's
Thanks to
smoking
Jay.
back there, bringing all the heat.
All right, so Zoe, you're at Brown. You're a rising
Junior. Mhm.
like I am. Ramsel's a bit older than us, so he
Yeah.
might not
Old
relate
and
to
wise.
that.
I'm rising to my 30s.
So,
Mid-20s.
how'd you pick Brown? How'd that school and kind of what you're doing there bring you to Lola, if it did, or if this is just kind of something different from what you're studying? Just talk some about that if you can.
Yeah, so I picked Brown for a bunch of different reasons. One being that I'm studying computer science and they have a really great program there, and I'm specifically interested in graphics and animation, and Brown is one of the few schools that has a really solid program in that and a lot of cool professors that have a lot of experience in those fields, so that was really important to me. But I think that the really big thing that brought me to Brown, and this is what I always say, I'm a tour guide at Brown, so this is my
Very
big
cool.
like why Brown at the end of my tours, to give you a little taste, is definitely the people there, because it's just a really cool community of students that are really passionate about like a ton of different things. And everybody really like dives into their interests, but also likes sharing it with other people. So I learn just as much from like my friends and people I meet in classes as I do in my actual classes, which is a really cool
That's like
experience
the
for me.
ideal college environment, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really great. I really love it there.
Well, I'm sold. Would you apply?
Oh, I would. I don't think I had the GPA to like.
I'm a
crack
really
it.
good tour guide, clearly.
That's
Convince
why
everybody.
Yeah, like I can sell your school, like even if it was in a dirt ditch.
Oh yeah.
Nice, cool. That's awesome. So you love doing animation at what kind of stuff do you get to do at Brown? So you say there's
Yeah,
a bunch
let's
of
get into that.
Yeah.
of teachers there, and like what kind of support are you getting when it comes to like animation?
Yeah, so I haven't actually taken the animation class yet. Fingers crossed, I will get into it for this semester.
We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am going to need all the help I can get for that 20-seat class. But there's like a lot of other opportunities to pursue graphics too alongside animation. So we have some cool professors like Barbara Mayer is in charge of animation, and she did a lot of work with like live action movies and then like a bunch of other she like has a ton of experience in the film in the field, and then we also have Andy Van Dam, who is like huge in graphics.
That name sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I was
honestly.
Yeah, there's like a rumor that he's the namesake for Andy in Toy Story, but
Very interesting.
Yeah.
but on tours we're not supposed to talk about it anymore because it's a rumor. But
Right, you don't want to be spreading
Yeah.
rumors.
Jay,
You
cut
don't
that
want to be
out.
spitting facts on a tour
Yeah.
guide.
But he's really cool, and I was really lucky to be a teaching assistant for a class that he was teaching, so I got to know him a little
That's
bit.
awesome. Is that the only class that you're a TA for, or did you do any other classes?
Yeah, so I TA'd that one, which was like the very first intro to computer science class, and then I also TA'd the following class in the sequence, which was introduction to data structures and algorithms.
Cool.
Really?
Staying on animation, can you talk some about the connection between that and the computer science courses that you're taking? I
Yeah.
know there's some correlation. I don't know how much that is.
Computers.
Yeah, computers. Yeah, so I got into computer science because of animation, because in high school, one of the alumna from our school came to talk to us, and she works at Pixar, and I was like, that's
The best of the best.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is so cool. That is the dream. And so ever since then, I wanted to try to learn a little bit more about that. But for high school students, there's not as many resources to like get started with animation.
Totally.
And before really knowing anything about animation, I was like, well, animation is computers and therefore computer science. So that's kind of where I started diving into computer science. science, and I like took a class in high school, and I did Girls Who Code, and then when I got to college, I knew that's what I wanted to study. So like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to take the animation class yet, but I've been taking like other classes to build a foundation in computer science, and I was like looking for an internship for this summer where I would have that kind of experience, where I'd get to do some software engineering to see that side of it.
Totally.
Because I guess again, I don't actually know much about like the actual animating, besides things that I've read about it or researched about it, but I believe you could like be building the software or working with software that allows you to animate.
Totally.
So I thought it'd be really cool to see both sides of it.
Have you missed at all like CSS animations? Even that's like the building, not even the like baby steps towards full-fledged thing.
Yeah, a lot of the computer science I've done, both here and also at school, has been a lot of back end.
Right.
But I think front end is super cool. What we did for that first introductory class that I TA'd this past year, all of the projects were games. So we built like Tetris, and the final project was Pac-Man. So I loved that because it was more like video game design, I guess. But I like when you could build something on the back end that like has a visual effect that like people can interact with, and that you could see what you've done.
And those things animate, they move.
That's true.
It's not like Pac-Man's not the most fluid thing in the world, but it's moving.
That was a fun
That's
project.
like been the one thing for code for me that's like there's not always like a complete visual manifestation of what you're creating. And our whole engineering team is creating like unbelievable back-end stuff, for example, that we'll see in like the Ship It channel like all the time. That makes internal processes so much easier. Like literally is life-changing for some of the employees here.
Yeah.
But besides that, no one sees or knows about that. So while it's like absolutely crucial to have that, I can understand why someone interested in animation and seeing something like visually come to fruition would have more trouble like being totally interested by that all the time.
And that's why I've been really lucky to work on a project that I really like so far, because what I've been working on now kind of ties together the back end and the front end, so that it's a lot of processes that are like running behind the scenes, but you actually see a visual result. So that's been really cool for me.
Very nice.
All right, rapid fire question round. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's let it rip.
Oh boy.
Number 1, favorite type of pet?
Dog, though I've never had one, but I've been begging since I was like 5 years old, and it's just not going to happen. So
Is there a particular dog?
Yeah.
A Bernedoodle.
Love Bernedoodles.
Yeah.
What mixes that? It's a
Bernese Mountain Dog and a poodle, but they're so cute
I
and
love
they're so
Bernese
large.
Mountain Dogs. That's why I just wanted to confirm that
It's
it's
a good
Bernese.
sized dog.
Yeah.
So like I had a Portuguese water dog.
Oh, wow.
And they're very similar to like golden doodles, which I love, and that's like the perfect like equivalent size. I think the Bernedoodles.
The
are.
Bernese Mountain Dogs. If I could pair my dog Ike with any other dog, it would be Bernese Mountain Dog. So there's like little guy, big guy.
Ramsel is obsessed with his dog.
Oh, yes.
Everyone else in the office is too. So
We're all very excited about it.
Right. Yeah, one day I'm gonna convince the
Jake,
office.
can we get a picture of Ike up on the screen, please?
Yeah, just Photoshop it in. It's just gonna be like
Love
right
it.
here.
Favorite place you've been?
The favorite place I've been that's like abroad is I went with my family to Italy for my parents' anniversary,
Cute.
and that was
Shout out to them.
beautiful. Shout out to them. That was beautiful, like especially like the countryside. But in America, my favorite spot is Vermont. Yeah.
We're in Vermont.
So I was born in Burlington, so
Oh,
that
really?
will
Cool.
always hold a place in my heart.
I watched the Burlington or Bennington, the marathon. Is that Burlington or Bennington?
I have no idea.
Oh, there's a marathon in Vermont. It was a very fun time.
Bennington's
Yeah.
south, I think. Burlington is like way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the college is.
UVM is, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
exactly.
Okay.
But it's also like right on Lake Champlain, which is
Really
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get your icy. Was it called ices or
Creamies.
Creamies?
Oh, a maple creamy? Wow.
Ooh,
So good.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. All right, morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Same.
Mostly.
What do you, Ramsel?
Definitely a night person.
Interesting.
I'm trying to get better at it, like trying to go like wake up and go to the gym, but I'm usually like
It's
up.
tough to be a night owl when you work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a natural like tendency to like stay up till like 2 a.m. playing video games, and I
Yeah.
can't do that
I
anymore.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, during the school year, I go to bed around like midnight to 1.
Everything's later
Yeah.
at college.
But like now it's like 10:45 and I'm watching TV. I'm like, I just want to finish
My
this
left eye
episode, but
closes,
I
and
can't
like-
do it. I'm like
Subtle
asleep by
twitch.
11:15 and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is weird.
So switching gears some, why don't we talk a little bit about working in Boston?
Yeah.
Have you worked in Boston before? I know you're from Newton. Right?
Yeah, I'm from
Okay.
Newton, so I live pretty close. I actually worked at a law firm that's like a 5-minute walk from here last summer.
Oh, okay.
But
In the seaport as well, or over the bridge?
yeah, in the seaport. But I didn't like get out of the office. It was like a very different vibe than working in a tech company. So
Right.
it was like a really cool experience to work for a law firm. In high school, I was really interested in law, and still maybe one day well, there's time. We'll see.
I think we're rooting for the animation to take
Yeah.
off.
I'm rooting for animation too.
So when you come out with like a Pixar movie,
You could be
we're
like,
front
I
row
know
in the
her.
premiere.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm gonna start like hitting you up like, hey, free tickets or something.
Red carpet event?
Yeah.
What? But so I've worked here before, but this has definitely been a very like new experience for me. So I'm trying to soak it all in.
Well, let's wrap up. Why don't you just talk about the people at Lola? I know we've talked a lot about like the great work environment, but
Yeah.
what's it been like working with the other interns, the other people in your department?
Yeah.
Good experiences, I hope.
Oh, definitely good experiences. Everybody here is so brilliant and so driven and so curious about like technology and what they can be doing better all the time. Constantly in Slack, somebody's posting something that's like, oh, like I read about this article online, like maybe we should think about using like this kind of tool. And I just think that it's awesome that people are so passionate about it and so invested in it that like they're spending their free time looking for ways to make Lola perform better. Plus, like everybody's just been like so nice and so welcoming and patient, and this is like my first software engineering internship, and people have been so nice about answering all my GitHub questions.
Oh yeah.
so
Don't
many
get me started.
so many GitHub questions, but
Yeah.
and like helping me out and like pointing me in the right direction. So it's made it that much better of an experience because of the people here.
Cool. Yeah, I think passion is something that every startup has, but especially here at Lola,
yeah.
people are passionate
People are so
about what they're
excited,
doing,
which is
the other
great.
people who they're working with. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, Zoe, great having you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Ramsel, good job as always.
Well done.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out Lola.com, the best corporate travel solution.